What isn't impossible to answer? One question I do have for you in terms of your race in the title with Man City. Sorry, with Arsenal. How do you think this situation is going to impact you? Do you think it's going to drag the team down? It's going to make them a bit more inconsistent, or do you think it could help galvanize the side in this kind of title race? And of course, you've got a big match in just over a week against Arsenal. How do you think this will impact the team on the pitch?
I don't think it affects the team. I think the players and Pep and the team are just concentrating on football. I think they've been told by the people at the club it's just business as usual. I don't get why any of the players would be worried about it. They've just got to do their job. And at the minute on the pitch, they're not doing their job. So, I'd be more concentrating on actually getting results and scoring at Tottenham than worrying about what's going on in the boardroom.
Yeah, they've got to do that, because Sunday was another game where I think we've had this conversation 2 weeks running. You just didn't look right, if that makes sense. There's something kind of missing. How do you think you'll bounce back in the next couple of games, and what sort of changes do you think Pep's got to make to the team and on the field of play?
I honestly believe we're not good enough. This season. There's something missing. I keep giving them the benefit of the doubt, thinking something will change. They're going to twig something here and there, and it's all going to fall into place. But I've watched this team long enough to know that there's something missing, and we didn't get anyone in January, so that ain't going to change it. He's tinkering with the team weekly, trying to find something that's not quite working. I just don't think we're good enough. And it's not about the Arsenal game. We're good enough to beat Arsenal. We're good enough to beat Villa. We're good enough to go on a bit of a run. But I don't think we will. I just don't think we've got it this season. I think we're tailing off. And Sunday was the one for me. You go to Spurs, and that's not a great Spurs side, to be honest. And we just looked out of sorts. We just looked like we're lacking something. And I'm the most positive City fan you can get, but I'm also real. And if you're asking me now, are we going to win the league and beat Arsenal? I say no.
Wow. Do you know what? Like, you're the only City fan legitimately out there who I think is that honest. And obviously we've spoken privately about that, and that you sort of said 2 weeks ago you can see some holes and see some problems, and I agree. And of course you could turn it around if this weekend maybe the situation kicks you all into gear, Pep gets it right. But when Arsenal lost on Saturday, I didn't think Arsenal were battered. They just weren't good enough on the day. I thought City could do something now. City could come out. You heard Carl Walker talking before the game. We know what we've got to do. Put your best team out there. Get the 3 points.
That's what he's not doing. Our best defence at the minute with what he's got is Nathan Ake at left back, Ruben Diaz, Emily Laporte and Kyle Walker. He's playing Akanji and Ake at centre back. He's playing Walker. He's playing Rico Lewis, young kid, all over the place in inverted fullbacks. Phil Foden's not been playing. Bernardo sometimes on the bench. It's all a mismatch at the minute. I don't know what he's trying to get at. It's so frustrating for a Man City fan to watch when you've got one of the best strikers in the world who's scored 31 goals already this season, and you can't believe how he's done that, because they literally don't get the ball in the areas for him. You watch him, the runs he makes, no one's finding him. It's all dried up. It's weird. But look, Pep's got to find the answers to that. But I just think we're not good enough this season. I think there's a lot of players that are running the contracts down to the end of the season, ready to go on. And I think it's obviously not been a happy camp there this season. But we're still second. We're still in the Champions League. We're still in the FA Cup. So it's not doom and gloom crisis time. I just believe that when you get this title-winning team in your system and you go week in, week out, you get this feeling about the team, and it's a weird feeling you get when you go in the stadium. You pretty much know that you're on it. I'm not getting that vibe. I'm stood there watching it, and it just looks disjointed and rushed, and Pep doesn't look quite there, and Kevin De Bruyne doesn't look quite and it's just, there's too many things going on for me, and that's just my honest opinion. I could come on here and say we're going to win the league, and all the City fans would jump behind me, and Big Steve and all that, but I've done that over the last few years because I believed it. I put my chest on the line and said we'll do it. This season, nothing's making me change my mind. I just don't think we're good enough to do it.
Do you know what? Again, Steve, this is the thing. Like, I agree with you. I've been saying it for months now, and all I've had from and it's funny seeing all the City fans in my comment that attack me saying I'm a secret Arsenal fan, I have a City agenda, And I saw a few of them when I said Steve's coming. Oh, Steve will put you right, Tiro, in our season this year. And they must be feeling gutted right now because you said the same thing. And I don't hate
No, I said it on my channel. Yeah. I said it on my channel. I just said I believe that there's something missing. And do you know what? I go to the game and some fans will come up to me and say, love the positive, Steve. And then some fans will come up and go, Steve, why don't you just call it out, man? You know we're not playing well. And I say, I know I'm not, but I've been trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, hoping something will change. And I can't see it. And the Tottenham game, I thought, nah, Arsenal's dropped points. If there's ever an incentive to go out and win that game and put them to bed, after beating them the other week as well, when they were 2-0 up and coming back, that should have been it. And we didn't do it. We'll go on Sunday, we'll probably beat Aston Villa. And then it all tees up to the game. And can Man City beat Arsenal at the Emirates? Of course they can. I'm going down there. I'm going to back them 100%. But I just think there's something missing. I can't put my finger on it, Terry.
Mate, I agree with you. And it's hard to. And there's a super chat here that says, what's missing? Is it sort of no pace in Sterling and Jesus? It could be that. It could be adapting to playing with a number 9. One thing I've noticed a lot when you play is there's so many times where Haaland makes a run and he just needs an early through ball and it's not being made. There's also an element of just, it could be slightly psychological. Just 2 years of winning the title and you're going into a third year. And I see a similarity between what Arsenal were doing and what Liverpool did in the 2019-20 season, where you guys are on the back of 2 very intense seasons. You got into that third one and Liverpool weren't going anywhere. And I just think sometimes it's 5%, 10% drop off where players, and I think it's a kind of subconscious thing where they just go, oh, I haven't got the energy to keep fighting like that because you've done it for 2.5 years already. And you only have to drop off in this level of football by 5%. It's really hard to pinpoint the problems as fans. Maybe even as the coaching and the management staff are looking at it, scratching their heads, but you're just not quite at the races. Do I think City are finished? That people love to do that, don't they? They're finished. There's a new era. Listen, Man United are on the way back up. Arsenal look brilliant. City, whether they win the league this year or not, will be in amongst it again next year, no shadow of a doubt. But I agree with you. There's certainly something there missing, and I can't quite put my finger on it either. I think a lot of people are blaming Haaland, and I think that's really unfair. Like Haaland's made them worse. Like, do you agree with that notion, or do you think it's people not finding him?
No, listen, he's got 30. If Haaland stopped playing now, he'd probably still win the Golden Boot. So that's how good he's been. He's doing his job. There's games where I've seen him not touch the ball for 22 minutes, and that's not his own fault. If he starts coming in midfield looking for the ball, people are going to slate him for coming deep. A lot of it's just down to the supply line. Kevin De Bruyne gets his head up early, tries to get them balls in, finds him a lot of the time. Riyad sometimes has a great opportunity to get his head up early and let one go. He doesn't. And Jack is the same. Jack's doing really well at the minute, playing well, but the creativity side of him, sometimes it's frustrating. But listen, it is what it is. I spoke to someone at the club the other day, and they're working on all sorts of different things. But Haaland definitely, he's a superstar, man. We've just got to find him.